Hey everyone, I'm very excited today because in a few hours, when you're probably watching this video, my new Ronin S is arriving. I know I'm probably about a year or two behind everyone else getting Ronin S's and sort of gimbals, but I finally gone and bought one. So I'm going to release a cheeky video this Friday, sort of explaining which one I got and the reasons behind it, because obviously with the Ronin S you got the Essential and the Standard, and there can be a bit of confusion between which one's which, what you get, and if I give you my opinions on the one I've got, it might help you if you're looking to get one yourself. So watch that this Friday, because obviously I usually do a video every Monday, but I thought I'd throw in this one for Friday because next Monday, if you remember a few weeks ago, I talked about social media content, posting stuff Monday to Friday. So next Monday will be the end of those 4 weeks, and I said I wanted to give a nice video sort of showing the results that I've got, and is it worth posting something every day? So watch next week to find out the results of that. But today I want to talk about quite an interesting topic, and something you might be interested in, and that is, what's it like being a pro drone operator? So I fly, there it is, my DJI Phantom 4 Pro. I just over 2 years ago, pretty much now 2 years ago, I decided to get my PFCO, which is the permission for commercial operations. And in the UK, you get that, that's for the CAA, so the Civil Aviation Authority. I think in America, it's the FAA. And there's all different countries around the world have the same sort of authorities. And basically, you need permission from them to fly your drone for commercial operations. So that means getting paid to fly it. And I remember when I was on my course, there could be ways around this, but the CAA have clamped down. So I could fly it at my drone at a wedding and say, they're not paying me to fly that drone there. They're paying me for my my on the ground filming. This is just a little extra. But I think the CAA sort of got around that. So if you want to fly it, you need your license, basically. And basically, I want to sort of summarize and sort of, let you guys know, is it worth having it? So if you're thinking of getting one, first of all, you need to go on a course from a qualified company. Basically, they teach you the theory. So I did a 2-day theory test with 2 days of theory, and sort of after each module, I'm trying to remember this from like 2 years ago. I think there was about 6 different modules on each day, and at the end of each one, we'd have a little test. And the guy, there's only 2 of us in our class, and he would mark it right there and then after we'd done the test. And if we failed, he would let us redo it. But we both passed each module. So at the end of the 2 days, we knew we passed the theory test, which is fantastic. And then you come back for a practical test. And these practical tests can vary with each supplier, each sort of tester. I, looked at YouTube videos of what do they put in these tests, and what I had was completely different to sort of what other people had. And it also depends on your drone. So the Phantom 4 has built-in GPS, which you're able to switch on and off, whereas the lad who I was with, he didn't. So on his test, he did the same stuff as me, but then I had to do something a little bit more advanced, which was send the drone up as high as it can go legally, 120 feet, and then fly it as far as it can go, distance-wise. Then take off the GPS, put it in a spin, and basically bring it back and land it. So obviously when you've got GPS built in, when you've got wind, what you'll see your aircraft do is try and hover and stay in that position because it's got this GPS coordinates. But as soon as you take GPS off, if you've got strong winds, you'll just start seeing it fly away, never to be seen again. But you can always just whip GPS on, so no big deal. But anyway, that's sort of part of the test. So if we're going to break down some costs, obviously the drone costs a fair bit of money, depending on which one you get. It can be, £1,000, £1,500, over £2,000. That one costs, I think, £1,800. Then you got to do the course. Then, which was, they were competitive, so I think that was about £1,200. So with that course, they submit so basically every when you want to get your license off the CAA, you have to submit your operations manual and loads of other bits of paperwork, insurance, flight logs, manuals. So there's a few different things. So they make it really easy, and you just follow their sort of guides, putting in information about you and your business, and they'll create the manual that's all up to date with all the regulations. So that's included, but they don't include, obviously, the price to the CAA. So I think the first time that was almost £200 on top of that you have to submit to the CAA. And you can pay that and they can go yes or no. And you're paying that whatever their answer. So if they say no, you might have to submit it again. But the company we went through, they basically make sure they're all up to date and won't say no. So you got that. Then you got your insurance. So when I first did it, there wasn't any of these pay-as-you-go insurance companies. So I had an extra policy outside of like all my video production gear. I think that was £400 for the year. Get all the accessories. So you got your ND filters. I got a wind monitor thing, which the guy on my course said, bring it to your practical. He said this is something you need because obviously you got your wind strengths and these drones can only go a certain miles per hour. So if you basically got wind going that way and at 30 miles an hour and your drone flies at 30 miles an hour, it can easily go that way as well. But when you're trying to bring it back at top speed at 30 miles an hour, you've got a wind coming at you at 30 miles an hour, you're literally going to go nowhere. So it's so when you're like doing obviously operations risk assessments and stuff, you're looking at the weather. So before each flight, I'll check sort of the wind speed and just make sure my drone can fly in those conditions. But it's kind of common sense at the end of the day. If it's really windy and gusty, you're not going to put the drone up. Anyway, so there's a few little accessories that you can buy. So it does add up to a lot of money. Now, I try and put this in all my wedding films. So, say you do 15, 20, 30 weddings. To fly this drone, it's not going to cost... Well, the first year it'll probably cost a lot of money because you've got all those costs. So if you divide all those costs up by 20... So let me just grab my calculator and let's have a... I wasn't even planning on doing this. So let's say drone costs $1,800 plus drone course and submission to the CAA is $1,400. So that's already that's $1,800 plus $1,400. So that's £3,200 already. Then you got all the accessories. So say you spend £150 on accessories. That's $3,350. So if you do 30 weddings, let's just divide by 30. So that's costing you £111. So that's sort of something to take into consideration. Oh, I didn't even add on the insurance for that as well. So that's another £400. So, you know, a little bit more. Add another 10. So about 120 odd quid that it costs to put in your drone. So then, after the first year, I realised there were pay-as-you-go insurance companies out there. So now each flight sort of cost me £5 to insure for a few hours. And my drone, who I did the training with, they include a fill out your drone's manual as well. Again, they help you with that, all included. So you only have the fee of paying the CAA, which is a little bit cheaper, but it's still over £100, I think, for them to renew it. So for me, the second year was a little bit cheaper. So if I look at my costs again, say the drone renewal was 150, divide that by, say, 30 weddings is £5, plus a fiver for the insurance, that's 10 quid. But you know what, I might not have done 30 weddings. Let's just divide that by, say I did 15, so that's 10 quid plus the insurance 15. So obviously as the years go by, it does sort of get a little bit cheaper. And obviously that was just weddings. I use my drone in other corporate jobs and promotional videos. So if I'm using my drone, it can be 40 times maybe in a year. Then it's definitely worth having, because if you're only doing a few weddings and you've got a bride that really wants a drone shot, you can hire people like me. I'll come along. You know, I've got my fees, usually about 250 quid, depending on where you are. And I can stay there for sort of as long. I've kind of got as like a day fee. I'm not like a couple of hours or half a day. That is, if you want me to get to a venue, get the drone shots, maybe do some other stuff, that costs. And if you want me to stay there, like to film the bride and groom on their couple shot and stuff like that, you know, my flat fee is £250. So if you think to yourself, I don't really want to spend nearly £2,000 on a drone, all these other things, all these other costly things, and you've got a client that really wants a drone, you can hire people. And there's even, you know, there's people higher than me on their fees and lower. So, you know, you can put it out there in Facebook groups if you're just looking to get someone. So there are other options out there. Personally, because I include it in all my packages, and I literally love flying a drone. I couldn't wait to go on the course and sort of get everyone says license. It's sort of like, it's the easy term of saying I've got a drone license, but all it is permission from the Civil Aviation Authority. That's all it is. Now, you might have heard they've got some new rules. And these new rules have actually annoyed me a little bit, and I personally think they're unnecessary, because it's a bit like the license as well. I've only had one venue in a few years ask me, well, the bride actually contacted me, can I send them my drone license and stuff like that. So I've only had one venue ask it for me, and they didn't even ask on the day. I could just turn up, fly a drone, no one even knows. So, and I know there are people out there who do this, but personally, if you ever did get caught, it's worth just having that permission for your, off the CAA to fly. But they just brought out for everyone, you need to have an operator's ID and a flight ID. The operator's ID costs an additional £9 a year, and on your drone you get a little code. So every drone has to have that code on there, so that's unique to you. Now the flight ID, not everyone has to have this, and if you have permission off the CAA, and also if you're a member of some other places, you don't have to do the test. So the test costs nothing. It's 20 questions. But the advice that my the Aerial Academy, that's what they're called, or I think they changed their name to Drone School Training. They advise just do the test. So I did that. That's what I was doing last week. Did the test, 20 questions, got 20 out of 20, got my flight ID. It's just like so much easier just to do that. So if you are wondering, is it worth doing the test? You know, if you've done your drone course, you're gonna nail that test. It's just common sense, really easy stuff. But what I find is the same people that fly it without having the permission to fly, they're not going to bother spending £9 and doing the test themselves. It's just that type of person just feels like they'll just get their drone up, fly it, and that's it. And you're probably going to get that with loads of people who buy them as toys and just they'll go out the back garden and fly their drone. Police aren't going to come knocking at the door. The only people that are going to pay that extra £9 are the people like me who actually fly it for commercially, and maybe hobbyists who like to go out and fly it as well, who will be there maybe out in a park or whatever they do and fly it, because you never know, you could get someone complain and police turn up and need to see your thing. So the law-abiding citizens will pay the money. The people who just want to go out and have a bit of fun on their drone, they won't pay it. And I was at a wedding in September. It was on a couple's farm, and the best man had a drone. Another guest had a drone. And when we were doing the couple's photo shoot, the best man had his drone out, and he was like drunk at the time. And the bride and groom were getting pissed off with him. He almost crashed it. He flew it almost at the bride's heads when we're doing it, and it was just like out of control. There were kids. He's showing off to the kids. And personally, I think this guy is not going to pay the £9 to get his operator's ID. So that's just a little rant. So, you know, it's another cost that you've got to do. And that's every year. The test you have to do every 3 years. So that's not too bad. And that's free. So you just sort of just sign up and do it. But I love flying a drone. And if you are thinking of getting your drone license and becoming a pro, as I got in the title of this video, I'd say do it. You know, it's and then you got to having that is fun. I take it to wedding fairs, and I've got bookings from it because they go, oh wow, yeah, oh you got that drone. They look at videos and oh you got a nice like venue shot and stuff like that, and it gives that little bit of wow factor to potential clients. And, you know, I just had a request for a bit of commercial work, and they said they're looking for some aerial work as well. So it does, you know, it can pay off to have it. So if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to my channel. I bring out content every Monday. And like I said at the beginning of this video, I've got some like quite interesting topics coming up. And I'm going to start doing more reviews. I'm going to start doing stuff on the C200 review on it. You know, I've had this for a couple of years now. Sort of do a review on it, how I use it, and I'm gonna obviously on Friday release the video explaining about the Ronin S that I got. But when I first started this channel, one of my early videos was gimbal versus glide cam. So I'm going to redo that one. Well, not redo it, but update it. Have an updated version. Again, give my opinion. So stay tuned for that one as well. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.